We've got from MicTuning P1C RGB switch panel. And if you do not know, this switch panel is used in a lot of 4x4 vehicles. So we are going to install this in our Jeep. The reason for these are basically to run all your accessory type things like your off-road lights and your winches and, well, really anything that you want to be able to control with a little switch inside your vehicle. Looks like we get a bunch of stickers. So this is all the button stickers so that you can hook up a fridge or amber lights or windshield lights, however you want to label them, which I like the little light bar. Probably use that for my little light bar that's on the front. There is just a bunch of different options, and there's even some blanks. Get a nice little user's manual. That's the actual switch box that mounts inside the vehicle. This is the actual control box. This is what all your accessories wire into. Comes with fuses, comes with extra fuses in the lid.
And they supply you, that's your major, that goes to the battery.
Kill switch.
Yep.
Get a little screwdriver, an Allen wrench, little screws, washers,
bolts,
lots and lots of brackets and zip ties, and an accessory wire, which we will not be using most likely. So we'll go over all this, how we do this in the installation process. For right now, we're just setting this here. This is all a little messy because we're trying to get our wires all straight. He's got his power and his ground, and he's going to put that into switch 1.
Yep.
Okay. And they are numbered. Oh yes, they are on the side. Switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're putting that in switch 1. He's bared the wires, and he's putting the ground into the negative side and then screwing that down. Alright, so ditch lights should be hooked up. The second one that we're going to put in is for the light bar that we have on the bumper, the winch bumper. Same process. Black goes into the negative and the red goes into the positive, and he's just putting it in the second button spot. So now we have 2 accessories hooked. The next one we're hooking up is our rock lights, and we are putting those in number 5 because I'm saving 1 through 4 for more of the, like the pod, the ditch lights and that stuff. In spot number 3, we're actually going to go ahead and put those bigger pod lights on that. So here's the deal. We'll still have that extra switch. We have to. It operates all the different functions of the lights. They have several different functions. Just a like daytime running ring, and they go white or amber, and then the light goes white. These were actually running to an inline fuse that ran straight to the battery. That's how they hook up. So we figured we should be able to snip, which we did, out the inline fuse, because that's technically what this is, right?
Yes.
It's just
it's fused.
Yes, it's a fuse. And we're putting that in spot number 3. That should still allow the switch that came with the lights to work. We will just will have to turn this on first so that we actually have power to that functional switch. Right now, we have everything on here that we're going to put on here. So the next step is going to be to hook up the battery, and we're going to test everything before we continue on the installation. Here's the thing. We are going to be running this on battery mode. We are not going to use the accessory item that hooks into your fuse box. You can do that if you choose. We are not going to do that. This switch moves back and forth depending how you're using it. We're using battery mode, so we want it moved this direction. If you're using the accessory, you'd move it here. There is the adapter for this included, where you would plug this in and plug it into your fuse box into an accessory fuse. We're not doing that. We're going to use this and go directly, well, we're plugging this and this to the battery, and this will go directly to the switch into the inside of the Jeep. That wire, battery wire, was not long enough, so we flipped them and had to flip everything over, so this was on the top side. And we made these wires a little too short to just be able to turn it over. So those are on 5, 6, and 7, and then the rock lights are going to be on 1. This will go to the hot, and then you've got one to go to the ground. There's an opening on this side that your power and ground wires will run out of. So it'll look like that coming out of the box. So make sure you know which direction your lid is setting so that you can run those out appropriately. Once you have power to it, you can see there is a little red indicator light letting you know that there is power. This is the end of our switch, so it snaps into that one right there. And that should give us power. Now, you won't be able to see this when the lid is on, of course, but it's kind of nice for testing purposes. When you hit power, so our number one is our rock lights, and it powers to that. So when we hit the switch, that light comes on, so we know we have power there. And the rock lights are working. Now we have 5, 6, and 7. 5, we think, is that one. Yep, and that powers our little baby pod lights. The next thing is going to be we're going to put the lid on, put this where we want it, and then we're going to run this switch into the inside of the Jeep. We've run it down the rain rail, so it's right back here. And we pop this off and run it up inside. Now this is going to be vehicle specific, of course. Then we're going to pop this off and put this down and run it down here. We have more than enough cable. It's going to go up under. We're considering mounting here because when we bought the Jeep, somebody had already installed trailer brakes. So we may try to use these original little holes that were for that. You could mount up on the dash. The bracket can be mounted on the dash. We are not going to do that. I'm not going to put screws in my dash. Before we mount this in, I want to go ahead and get my stickers on. All right, there's the light bar one. We'll put that there. I use light cubes for our little tiny ones. We're going to go with the windshield lights, and there's a couple of different ones, but I want to use this one because I feel like it looks like those big lights. Then this one is my rock lights, and there's a couple of options. There's one that says underglow and one that says rock. I'm going to call them rock lights. We're going to put an outlet in the bed of the truck. That one, I don't know what we're going to use, but we're probably going to put it like right here. I'm not going to leave these like this. I'm going to use the actual blanks and then I'll peel them off when I'm ready to put something in those. In the spot where we had that old trailer brake switch thing is where we want to put this. Well, the brackets don't line up to the holes, but it will line up to one hole and sit sideways. So we'd screw that one in, and then we'll tape 3M tape just to kind of keep it from flopping around in there. So we're going to use the flat bracket. These are made more for mounting on a dash so that you can swivel, and that's going to cause it to stick out farther than I would like because it's right next to my gas pedal. I mean, where my leg goes to hit the gas pedal, and so I don't want it to stick way far out. So we're going to use this flat one. So we just take this and we're going to screw that to the box, and then we'll mount in the Jeep. We put a little bit of 3M tape so that we can mount this. He's going to screw it right there in that top screw hole, and it's going to sit like this. So we're going to mount the 3M tape to the side of this here, and hopefully that will hold. So we're going to turn these on, and you can see we've got the red RGB, which I'm not as crazy about. Not really sure that color of that. There's green. Oh, there's another green. There's a blue. That purpley color. I like that one. Didn't have an orange, so to speak. I don't know. I really can't tell. I think that's yellow. So you got like these blues. I like that one, so I'll probably just leave it on that one. And one more thing I want to show you, because I want you to see that you can run more than one item at the same time. So we'll turn on the well, let's turn on the light bar and the windshield lights. You can see the windshield lights are on and the light bar is on. You can run everything on your switch all at the same time. I guess as long as it doesn't exceed the 60 amps.
Right, which...
And one more thing I wanted to mention. We got the 8 gang, so we only have the 8 buttons. There is a 12, so if you need more than 8, you can get a 12. And it actually goes up to 80 amps, I believe it is. We're going to put some links in the description below, so they can go over and check out and get their own switch, 8 or 12. And there's some that are wireless, that has apps, remotes, gets real fancy. Otherwise, I think we're done with this install. We thank you for watching.
See you on the next one.